Umar Johnson just crashed out on Kevin Hart and every black entertainer at the Netflix roast, and he issued a final warning and laid out the consequences that's gonna come if they ever sell out black folks in that fashion again. Netflix has this thing called Joke Fest, and a part of Joke Fest, they do like a live comedy special. Last year, I believe it was the roast of Tom Brady. This year, it was the roast of Kevin Hart. Black people were really pissed at Kevin Hart and other black entertainers in attendance, but more specifically Kevin Hart, because they believe that they sat by and allowed the white supremacist comedian Tony Hinchcliffe to make a tasteless joke about George Floyd being in hell and laughing up at us.
You know, Kevin, they told me not to mention your kids on this roast, but I must say, you did good. They've gotten so big, they now buckle Kevin up in the car seat. It's true, he lost his gig hosting the Academy Awards because of some homophobic tweets, but you'd be homophobic too if you were eye level with everyone's cock. He got into a fist fight on a private plane, proof that no matter how much money black people have, they're still just gonna act like ninjas. Always fighting. Like Bill Cosby, Hart is a black comedian from Philadelphia, and like Bill Cosby, women don't know when Kevin is inside of them. You've done good though, Kevin. The black community is so proud of you. Right now, George Floyd is looking up at us all, laughing so hard that he can't breathe. God bless you, Kevin. God bless this room. And God bless the United States of America. Thank you so much.
I thought that was super corny on Kevin Hart's behalf and Tony Hinchcliffe's behalf. That wasn't even a joke about Kevin Hart. Like, you didn't even mix Kevin Hart into that joke. You just straight up said that man is below us, which is me in hell, laughing up at us, right? Just disrespecting the dead. I thought the joke about Charlie Kirk was distasteful. I thought that joke was also corny as well. And Pete Davidson was trying too hard, right? But the difference between Charlie Kirk and, let's say, George Floyd is Charlie Kirk, for the most part, made himself a public figure. George Floyd had no intention on ever being a public figure. He didn't open himself up to scrutiny, right? He was just put in that position with his death. So no, I didn't think making fun of the dead is cool, cute, or anything. Now, all the other jokes about other people in the room, like Cheryl Underwood, I ain't got no problem with that. But Umar Johnson does. And Umar Johnson went off, right? Umar Johnson sent a strong warning to Kevin Hart and every black entertainer in that room who didn't stand up for George Floyd.
As a spokesman for the black freedmen of this country, as a spokesman for the black African race, I'm the most popular grassroots spokesman in the world for my people. Y'all get a pass on Mother's Day. I'm giving him a pass, Art, one pass. But I want Kevin Hart to know, and I don't care who in Philadelphia don't like it, I don't care. I'm letting Lizzo know. I'm letting Cheryl Underwood know. I'm letting Draymond Green know, Tiffany Haddish, Regina Hall, although Regina Hall stood her ground. If y'all ever let white people do this to us again, if y'all ever sit at a comedy show and let white people insult and castrate, verbally castrate, and humiliate and shame the black race like y'all did on Mother's Day, we will cancel y'all too. And I'm not playing. Y'all black entertainers better stop playing with the self-respect of black people. You black football players, you black basketball players, you rappers, you goofy-ass rappers, you singers, you actors, you dancers, you comedians. I'm telling you now, white folk are going to try to use them, Art. They're going to try to use them to bring back the modern day minstrel show by humiliating us in their faces. And I'm letting the whole black entertainment world know right now, we will march on your ass. We will march on your house. We will boycott your movies. Don't play with me. I'm telling y'all now, I'm talking to every black entertainer in this country. Don't play with me. If you think we're going to sit by and allow you to let white people make a mockery of black people so you can get paid, you got another thing coming.
Who elected Umar Johnson as the representative for black people? I'm not saying I got a problem with it. He said he's the voice of black people. I want to know who elected him. Y'all let me know in the comment section who elected Umar Johnson and when were the votes casted. Now, based on what Umar Johnson said, let's just take the Netflix roast from out of it. I think we need to be on this Like on this stance, on this code, regardless of the Netflix special, we should have been had this stance. When these rappers is rapping about doing drugs that they don't do to line up their pockets, right? Because they white zaddy at the record labels told them to do so, we need to get them out of here, right? You're destroying our community for profit. You're destroying our community to line up the pockets of non-blacks who got you signed, right? When these rappers is rapping about killing people in a lifestyle they've never lived, right? And they're destroying and brainwashing our community to line up the pockets of non-blacks who got them signed, we need to call that out. You got to get out of here. You got to get canceled. When these rappers is pushing agendas or these entertainers is pushing agendas that ain't really beneficial for our people, we need to get them out of here. Outside of the Netflix roast, get them out of here for their everyday treason. I agree 1,000%. I don't think we needed this Netflix roast, right, to see these people ain't never on code, never will be on code. The average black entertainer got ushered into the industry, got given their first opportunity by a non-black on average. The average black entertainer has an addiction to proximity to whiteness because they understand proximity to whiteness is how you advance forward in this industry. The average entertainer is gonna put, like career advancements over being a revolutionary. So when we watch them sit in the room, laugh, geek up, smile, chuck and jive, when George Floyd was disrespected, I wasn't shocked. These folks had never been on code, right? I'm not shocked. This is who they are. Now, Umar Johnson had issues with other jokes outside of the George Floyd jokes. Now, I only had an issue with the George Floyd joke, right? Because if Cheryl Underwood, if Kevin Hart and others put themselves in the room for a roast, they got to deal with the jokes that come towards them individually, regardless of how harsh it is. But the George Floyd joke to me was especially egregious because George Floyd was not in the room.
Here's another joke. Who they talking about again? Cheryl Underwood art. This was not about Kevin Hart. This was an Erica Kirk get back. Listen to this. Her husband committed suicide after 3 years of marriage. I've only been sitting next to her for 2 hours, and I want to ask him, how did he last so long? Her husband committed suicide after 3 years. I've been sitting next to her for 2 hours. I want to ask him, how did he last so long? Art, somebody better tell Netflix. Somebody better tell Netflix that if you ever disrespect our women like this again, we are boycotting Netflix. It won't be no more Netflix. It won't be no more Netflix. In fact, Tyler Perry, start your black flicks. Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, somebody needs to start black flicks. We need to get away from Netflix anyway.
We do have a black flicks. It's called Tubi. Black folks have denigrated Tubi, the brand, so much that when we say Tubi or, oh, that's a Tubi movie, it's synonymous for low budget. It's synonymous for bad acting. It's synonymous for trash. So black folks label Tubi as low budget and added negative connotations to it. So, like, who can we blame for that? Like, who can we blame, right, for denigrating our own brand that's for us and by us? Tubi exists. Black folks make sure no A-listers, no real actors, no real entertainers worth they salt is trying to be associated with the Tubi brand because we calling it low budget. So we got ourselves to blame. Now, also, too, I'm going to say this, okay? When it comes to Cheryl Underwood and Tiffany Haddish, both black women in the room, after the fact, they were asked about the George Floyd joke. Tiffany Haddish said the only people mad about the George Floyd jokes were people who couldn't be in the room. Cheryl Underwood ain't really have no issues with the George Floyd joke. So, like, I should boycott Netflix because Netflix made jokes about Cheryl Underwood. 1, she signed up to have herself be made fun of. 2, she made fun of people. 3, she ain't have no issue with George Floyd being dissed. Why would I care if Cheryl Underwood gets dissed? I'm not boycotting Netflix because of Cheryl Underwood. I will boycott Netflix because of George Floyd.
And you know what's funny? I just renewed my subscription to watch this. Let's continue, Art. Almost done. Here we go. George Floyd is looking up at us and laughing so hard that he can't breathe. You making jokes about black people who were murdered by police? That's funny? That's comedy? And let me say this to all the coons, Art, because guess what the coons was saying on my Instagram yesterday? You don't understand risque comedy. Nah, house nigga. Nah, house nigga. I understand risque comedy, but what I'm telling you, I don't care what kind of comedy it is. You're not going to disrespect black people because Art, what they're trying to do is bring back the minstrel show. What was the minstrel show, Art? Back from 1830 to 1930. From the Nat Turner War until the heyday of the Marcus Garvey movement, our greatest black movement of modern history, white people would dress up in blackface, Art, and they would play ridiculous, stereotypical black characters. Zip Coon, the Pickaninny, the Mammy, Uncle Tom, the Laughing Sambo, and they made us look like complete animals and morons. And why did they do it, Art? The minstrel shows, which was the most popular form of entertainment in America at that time, were done to do what? Justify the mistreatment of blacks, justify the lynching of blacks, justify the slavery of blacks. And guess what, Art? They're trying to do it again. They're trying to bring back the minstrel show with the only difference being now, Art, instead of painting their white faces black, they just gonna laugh in our black faces. It should have been called the Netflix Racist Roast of Black America featuring Cheryl Underwood. Listen to this, Art. Kevin Hart gets up there. He's the last half hour, Art. So this is about almost 3 hours. He's the last half hour right before he bring out Meek Mill to do his closeout rap. Shout out to Meek. Kevin Hart says, y'all told me y'all want to see a real nigga tonight, so I'ma be a real nigga. Kevin Hart, I love you, bro, but don't you dare use the N-word around these Caucasians, and don't you dare make them think it's okay to use the N-word.
I'm not reading Kevin Hart saying I'ma act like a real N-word as him giving permission to white folks to say the N-word. I don't know. I think that's a reach per se. But this next part, though, I kinda agree with, because I didn't see Kevin Hart roast any white women at that roast. Now, everything isn't about race, so please, if I'm focusing on like race too much, I don't know. So Umar Johnson pointed out the fact that Kevin Hart, for the most part, there's no viral clips of Kevin Hart roasting any white women, but Kevin Hart went out of his way to roast the sisters, right? The black women, right? Cheryl Underwood, who already had it hard enough. Listen, man. If anybody other than George Floyd had it tough, it was Cheryl Underwood. Kevin Hart went out of his way to do a final roast for Lizzo, Cheryl Underwood, and Tiffany Haddish. And Umar Johnson felt like after Cheryl Underwood and the night that she had, for you to pile on, even if it was a roast, Umar Johnson felt like that was cruel.
We don't do that, bro. We don't do that. And then he says, Shane was one Bud Light away from calling me a nigga. And then Kevin did something I didn't like, Art, and this is my last piece, and I'm just going to close with my assessment of this. Kevin Hart said, I'm not going to let y'all stand up here and disrespect my black queens, my black sisters, or something to that effect, right, Art? So I'm thinking he about to clap back. I'm thinking Kevin Hart about to be an alpha male and say, I didn't appreciate them jokes you made about black women tonight. You went too far, right? Instead, you know what he says? He thanks them for coming out. Regina Hall, Lizzo, Tiffany Haddish, Cheryl Underwood. And guess what he says? None of these women have a man. They a bunch of lonely bitchs. Art, they just sat through a whole night of humiliation from white comics. And here's Kevin Hart, my North Philly brother who I love and respect. He gonna turn around and right when you think he about to defend the honor of black women, Art, he throws them under the bus too. And say, Ain't none of them got no man. They a bunch of lonely bitchs.
Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Was this Kevin Hart roast out of pocket? All right, the black entertainers let the black community down. Are you guys riding with Umar Johnson to cancel these black entertainers and Netflix? Let me know, okay? If you're still watching this video and you want to watch another good video, then click on this video right here somewhere on my screen, somewhere here, or here, or here, or here, or somewhere on my screen to find out why exactly Big Bank in Atlanta are spiraling and panicking after 6ix9ine just exposed them. I'm gonna see you guys in this video right here somewhere on my screen. Go on the hype button to send me a hype if you want to support. That's the best way to show support and help me out. So please, please, please send me a hype. I'm gonna see you guys in this 6ix9ine Big Bank in Atlanta video. I'm out of here, folks. Peace.